Guys, it is so easy. It's just the initial thing, like, oh my God, I can't see the person. What's going on? How long is it going to take me to get on Facebook? But it really worked out well. And thank you so much for all your help and
So what's
patience with
going
me
on?
for the years. And here she is. I'm done yipping and yapping. I met this woman and I just fell in love with Greg. Hi, Greg. How are you?
Hi, Sandy. I am really well. Thanks for asking.
Wait. Did you tell me you're in Scottsdale right now?
I am in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona for a wedding from somebody I've known for ages and ages. True, beautiful love story. And I would only come to Scottsdale during the high season for this woman because it's a madhouse here. We've got spring break, we've got baseball training camps, we got golf competition. It's insane, but it's beautiful and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it is beautiful, but you're right. I've never been there at the height of season, only off season.
It's yeah, much better off season, but like I said, wouldn't miss it for the world.
I I love weddings. All right. Let me tell you about Gregory Anne Cox. We're going to call her Greg. Has been writing about women's health, separating the truth from what the Western medical model would have us believe, and coaching women as a life and health coach for 20 plus years. She's an author, speaker, and champion for all women at any age who want to add more life to their years and enjoy the ride. Now, Greg, your one statement, I love it, to the women around the world and men that support us is aging happens, but it doesn't have to ruin your life. Well, I put that out to my peeps. And let me just sum it up with all, because I got a lot of remarks from that, good, bad, and ugly. But the one that I got, which they know I say this a lot and I really appreciate. Dear Greg, are you sure? Exclamation mark. That's it. Are you sure?
Fair.
Now we'll leave it to you.
Okay, so the idea that it doesn't have to ruin your life is the key phrase there.
Yeah.
It could, and depending on how you look at it, Sandy Joy Weston, who's a mindset expert, if you look at it as this is really in the crapper, right? I'm getting wrinkly, my joints hurt, I don't digest food, I can't eat pizza, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And if we focus on those things, as you know, Sandy, then that's the reality that we start to create. And we find people that we can support that will support that message for us. We get together and it's like, oh, how bad it is. Yesterday, for instance, I went to get my rental car and the line was hundreds of people long. I'm not kidding. And it ended up being about an hour and a half. And there were lots of people grumbling around me. And I met this woman in back of me and we just looked at each other and thought, it is what it is. But had we gone into that noise around us of this is terrible, budget, sorry, I'm not allowed to say the company, this company is the worst one ever. It's the same with our bodies and our approach to aging. It doesn't
Mhm.
have to be all doom and gloom.
I agree. I owned health clubs my whole entire life. Most of my staff was always like at least half my age, if not more. And every time we celebrated a birthday, they put big signs up with my years and they'd say, "You sure you want to put it up there?" I'm like, yeah. I feel good for my age.
Yeah.
I'm proud of my age. You
Yep.
know, I never, I swear to you, Greg, I never understood that because I thought, well, let's look at the facts. I'm not the only one getting older. Everyone's going to get older. How do I want to get older? That's it.
That's the question. How do I want to get older? And some people may say, well, genetically, I didn't get the lottery and I have already these things. And if in fact they've tried everything to feel better and nothing is working, my advice is you haven't tried everything yet.
Mm,
I mean, unless you literally have the inability to move, I understand that some people do, the pain is so bad, like they have true
yeah,
issues. So
yeah.
then that's a different person to help in a different way. And that's more your stuff, the mindset piece. For me, it's the people who are feeling like they're going downhill, they're not sleeping, they're gaining weight, whatever it is.
Mhm. Yeah.
Those are the kinds of people that I can work with to find the places where they haven't yet tried something new.
Ooh,
and see if that works.
there's always something, isn't
There's
there?
always something.
There's always, all right. So I don't think I know this. You said you've been doing this for 20 plus years. What did you do before that? And it's a two-part question. And why did you get into this?
Interesting you say that because last night at the cocktail party before this wedding, I was reunited with people. So I know this woman I was the chef for a heart surgeon who wanted to start a quick, healthy food restaurant. We were in La Jolla. The woman who's getting married was the dietitian. Quick, healthy food, we needed a dietitian. And the CEO of the company with his wife was also here last night. And we haven't seen each other in a really long time. But he like mirrored back to me what we were doing and the import of what the heart surgeon said. If I can get 60% of the people to listen to me who are on my table, I would be out of business because it's lifestyle. 60% is lifestyle. And now we know it's 80%. So what got me on this path, so I was a chef this many years ago, and what got me really committed was that his name was Daly. Dr. Daly invited me into the OR to watch a quadruple bypass surgery. I stood next to the anesthesiologist. I was there when they cracked her chest, saw the thing, cracked the thing, the heart and lung machine. I wanted to be a doctor. So the blood was like, no big deal, whatever. I was completely transformed while I watched that because he took out the heart and he held it in his hand and he said, here, this fat is part of the heart's anatomy. It protects the heart from the bone casings around it. This fat, and he flipped the thing over like it was a baseball. This fat is a lifestyle. This is impeding the flow of her oxygenated blood. This is what we're going to fix for her. But it doesn't have to be this way. That was it for me. I couldn't speak for 2 days. All I did was write because I felt the potential of getting this message out to people. So
Hmm.
that was how I got into this.
Well, yeah, that is so powerful. And by the way, I want to be in there. I would love it. The
It was
human
so
body
cool.
fascinates me. It's such a miracle. Talk about an aha moment. I don't even think, I mean, that's more than that. That's crazy. Crazy. All right. So then what did you do? You wanted to get into it. What did you do?
I kept cooking. We opened 5 restaurants and then they decided we were really ahead of our time. This was 30 years ago. They decided that we weren't really ahead of our time. So we kept the one restaurant that was really doing well in La Jolla. We had moved to other locations, didn't do as well. So I kept cooking and cooking, different restaurants, moved back to the East Coast. And it took me a while to get out of cooking and into this. But after I stopped restaurants, I started doing private chef work. And private chef work is kind of almost 24/7, depending on the clients.
Ah,
And, you're on call if they do a party or you show up and do breakfast and then come back and do dinner, whatever. I just got tired of it. And I remember lying in bed. I had a wicked cold. I was all by myself. I wasn't married yet, sobbing because I didn't know what to do. And somebody said, you should watch this guy named T. Harv Eker. He's going to do this or listen to this, audio. He was going to do a presentation. Well, by the end, I was like, I got to get to this event. I don't know what event. It was called Life Directions, maybe.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't have the money. I didn't have really I shouldn't have been going because I wasn't even working, but somehow I got a scholarship. Somebody gave me points for the airplane. It was one of those like meant to be kind of things. And what came up for me when I went through all the work was life coaching. And I studied psychology in college, but I never finished college because I went to culinary school instead. And I thought, well, this is kind of a fit, but isn't that lame? What the hell's a life coach? This was over 20 years ago. But anyway, I went to school.
Could be.
I went to then work for T. Harv Eker's company for 2 years as a coach so that I could get some chops before I went out into the world. And they trained us. And one thing led to another, and a transition from life coaching to health coaching. I studied
Mm.
nutrition. I was blogging about, in the old days when blogging actually worked, about what I was going through in perimenopause. And I was speaking and I was getting more people on my line. I had such great engagement. I started doing multi-speaker summits, which were also more of a thing in those days. Now you can get podcasts and stuff. And the more I got into it, the more I got into it, if you know what I mean. I felt like I had found my groove.
Yeah.
And so it was midlife with a vengeance and then rebellious wellness over 50.
I love the combination because the fact that you already knew food and you're a chef and then you're studying nutrition, I
Yeah.
mean, you can actually tell. I cannot tell. I don't cook. You don't want me to cook. I try. I really do, but it's not my thing. But I have so many clients that go, okay, Sandy, give me ideas. I go, okay, well, go on the internet. They have so many recipes. I know how to tell you make a great salad. Here's some fancy homemade dressing. So I think that's freaking awesome. All right, so we better get to some of these questions because my peeps are going to be like, Sandy, you yipped and yapped and you're not getting anywhere. So let's talk about the food. They do. I'm sorry. I want to apologize. You get this all the time, but they're begging me to ask you. I have a lot of moms. They're on the run. They eat healthy. They do work out, but they run out of ideas. And can you please help them to stay healthy and eat healthy? They find themselves a couple times a week doing the frozen things just because it's easy, or freaking get a pizza. So
Yeah.
they'd like more help.
Gee, had I ever been a mom, I might be able to have some ideas.
People on the run. Let's just go
Yeah.
people on the run.
People on the run. First of all, I have to say there's nothing wrong with frozen and convenience foods. You have to get rid of the guilt trip about it and see if you can add something to the meal. So let's just say you get a pizza. Could
Okay.
you, and if you have kids and they're fussy and they're like, I just want 4 slices of pizza, I'm not eating your damn salad. See what else you can do. Can you get a better topping? Can you add some broccoli or mushrooms or something? Can you put a little salad on the side? If you're having, I don't know, what else is frozen? Maybe you picked up one of those rotisserie chickens at Wegmans or whatever your store is. There's a million things you could have with that. And I have no, like if it has to be frozen broccoli or a frozen cauliflower casserole with cheese, that's great. The thing you have to keep in mind is the protein is king. And I'm not such a big fan of like starchy vegetables for anybody, especially people that are really busy, because it just tends to keep our energy low. We get up, we're all like high and happy, and then our energy slumps if it's a heavy carb meal. I'm not anti-carbs, but to keep
Don't
in
have a
mind,
plate of pasta. Have a little tiny piece. Or
right, don't go to Olive Garden. Oh, did I say that? I keep mentioning names of places. Don't
damn.
go to those places where they say it's a bottomless bowl of anything, right? And if you do pick up food from a restaurant like that, let's say you pick up a pasta dish, is that enough for 2 people that you bought, but they're calling it for one, right?
Yeah.
Portions matter. And when you're feeding kids, they need a lot of food. I get that. But for the moms, really think about your energy. How do you feel after you eat? If you feel tired and you're hungry a half an hour from now, that wasn't the best meal for you. And you have to really think about how your body's feeling. If you get heartburn when you go to bed, you might have eaten too late. These are just little adjustments. And I have lots of friends that are moms, and I get it that it's hard to stick with this like mindfulness about everything you eat.
Yeah.
But if energy is important, and I know it is, and many people are working on top of managing a family,
Yeah.
managing your blood sugar and your energy is really key. And protein and fat will always stand by your side.
I love that you said that about don't feel guilty if you have a frozen dinner. It's an and. So even if you had the healthiest frozen mac and cheese, it's okay. But what else are you putting with it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, put some. I love that. And you're right. The roasted chickens, I mean, they're so easy. You can get them everywhere. Costco's are like $5 and they
I
last
know,
for.
and they're huge. They're
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Next question actually is because my son is a freshman in college and his friend said, please ask Greg, what can we do in between classes to keep our energy up besides a protein bar, or I love the way they say this, the shakes that taste like sawdust or have an aftertaste. They want something. Now, I don't understand this question because they have a million food carts
Yeah.
at the schools, but they want to know what should they eat in between classes when they're running back and forth. No
So
dorm.
my favorite things, which to me, it reminds me of you're a speaker, I'm a speaker. You know, you get to the airport, the hotel, you're not going to eat the crappy hotel food. You're in a hurry. So it's portable energy is what I call it.
Ooh,
Packets of peanut butter, cashew butter, almond butter, those little packets
they
that you can
love peanut
buy.
butter. Yeah.
Right? Peanut butter, you just suck on one of those things. I also always carry roasted nuts with, a couple of raisins or cranberries or something in them. Hard-boiled eggs, if you leave the shell on, I don't think kids are going to deal with this, but I got a hard-boiled egg from the breakfast buffet for later.
Yeah.
because it's easy to eat. I'm going to crack it in the room, put it in a little Ziploc that I have. And, if I get hungry, because, when you're going to a wedding, you don't know when they're going to really feed you. So you got to slip off if you're hungry and put some food in before the champagne starts flowing. But yeah, I call it portable energy. So I think, and I get it. I brought a protein bar on the plane yesterday and it was totally unsatisfying. I wasn't hungry, but it didn't satisfy me.
Yes, that's a
But I
yeah.
certainly wasn't going to buy fruit and cheese plate for $11 on the plane. No, really.
A matter of principle to me. I
It
just don't
is.
do it. Right.
It is.
Oh my God. Yes, I'm the person, Greg. I hope you wouldn't be embarrassed. I want to eat pretty healthy. I go to the movies and I have my whole dinner in my bag. And my husband goes, "Oh my God, what's in there? Salad, little sandwich,
Oh my
snacks
God.
that are healthy, some red wine, clubs. Yeah,
You get in with the red wine. I love it.
I have it a little decanter. It's a long 3-hour movie. I'm good to
Movies have gotten so long. Oh my gosh.
go. Right. All right, next one. Fun salads. Any ideas to make a salad like more appealing or fun beside, the basics?
So two things come to mind. One is a chopped salad, which is a little bit more work because you're going to use like 6 veggies.
Yeah.
And then texture is really important to our satiety. Texture and fat are the two things that actually trigger the brain to feel full. And so adding nuts of any kind to a salad, like I have a favorite chopped salad from a restaurant nearby us that has Marcona almonds in it, a little bit of bacon, and then they just chop whatever vegetables. I just chop up raw veg, string beans, cauliflower, some
Tastes
romaine or
better chopped some reason.
yeah, there's something about it, right? So
Yeah.
anyway, texture and fat. Add a little cheese in there. If the bacon, you can make the salad dressing. Obviously, olive oil or something is going to have some fat, which will add to you getting full. And again, as many textures as you can, because a bunch of lettuce leaves, after a while, it's like I'm so bored. By the third bite, I'm like, deliver me.
All right. I want to get to your tips, but I just want to get in one more question because somebody said, does Greg agree with this? This woman's health coach said, of all the things I give you, if you do one thing, the most important thing you should do is get 8 hours sleep at night. That would be the most important thing for you. How do you agree with that?
Okay, I agree that getting the optimal amount of sleep for the person is important. And I'm not judging this coach, but that sounds like a sentence for failure. If you
Ooh,
do this, you will be okay. Well, what if you can't do that? What if you haven't figured out yet? And our sleep needs change so frequently. Like I call midlife entering the Olympics of change. Basically, you didn't sign up for it, but you're going into this game of change because at 50 something, 55, 60, 65, our body is constantly going through adjustments to hormone levels, to lack of hormones, to lack of sleep. And the ruse that we need less sleep as we age, total nonsense. Why would we need less sleep when we age? So getting the optimal amount of sleep is something worth working on. Absolutely 100% agree. It just may not happen because somebody says you need 8 hours and you may not need eight. Sometimes I wake up at 6 and I'm like, I don't mean 6 o'clock. I mean, I wake up having had 6 hours,
yeah.
refreshed. Some days I wake up having had 7.5 and I'm still dragging my butt.
Yeah,
Depends on
I
how
get
much
that.
deep sleep, right? So I don't like to set people up for feeling guilty or bad or
Yeah.
failure.
I know why they say we need less when we get older. It's a way for us to justify all the times we get up and pee. Because I go to the bathroom, I'm up. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you just go back right to sleep a few minutes, but sometimes, you got a whole story going on.
The other night, it was 3:45. I woke up because of the time change. I couldn't seem to get back to sleep. And so I just lay there and was like, whatever. But what I do try to do is calm my mind. Because,
Yeah,
I don't know whether you do this when you're awake, you start playing the day ahead or the day yesterday. And that's
yep,
really stressful for our bodies. And
yeah.
sleep coaches that I've interviewed will tell you that if you can find a way to just calm your mind, meditate, or put on some binaural beats or something and calm
There's
down.
so many meditations out
Oh
there.
my
I
gosh,
put
yeah.
them in my ears. I really, if I can't sleep, oh my God, for whatever. and they're so relaxing.
Yeah.
You should learn some stuff. Okay, here we go. Social media. It's hard. I mean, it's not, and I hate saying this, but it was a lot easier before to tune it out. But now, especially
Hmm.
for your business, you're on social media all the time.
Yeah.
How do you not get hit by? Because I'm one that I don't watch the news, I don't watch this, I don't watch that, but I am on social media.
Right.
What do we do?
Well, we get a thick skin. I interviewed a fabulous woman whose name is Dr. Michelle Tubman, and she said, find people who look like you to follow and stay in the ecosystem of things that make you feel good and away from the ecosystem, meaning the people on social media that fill your feed because of an algorithm that don't make you feel good. I have a bugaboo about all of these exercise videos where people are deadlifting and they're 70 or they're 60, and that's fabulous. I am so impressed. But when it says, if you are doing this, or if you're not doing this, or why don't you try doing this, it's an incentive for the people who might want to try. It's
Hmm.
like somebody that said, I should be on your podcast because I climbed Kilimanjaro at 59. I'm like, but nobody in my audience wants to climb Kilimanjaro unless they wanted to do it over their entire life, right? I'm looking for the broad information that will help the broader audience like you are. So anyway, I really thought that was great advice from Michelle, is to find people
Yeah, I
that
know.
look,
She was on my show too. She's awesome.
she
She's
is
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, that's true. I'm thinking you're right. Most I would probably not have them in my feed if it wasn't the message. So that's true.
And it's
But
not easy because we like to look at people that look fabulous and work out like crazy or climb
yeah,
mountain. It's
yeah.
a
But I get
motivation
it.
for us.
I never thought of that. Like you're 59, you climb Kilimanjaro. Yeah, if they wanted to do it, they're doing it. You're
Or
right.
they wanted to do it since they were a kid and they're training
Yeah,
right now. Or, they finally
yeah.
retired and now they have the time. And I don't diminish that as a huge accomplishment. Just that
I
there's
got
all
it.
this pressure to
Good
do
point.
something outrageous when most of us at a certain age have done a lot of outrageous things just by living. Careers, children, changing careers, losing people, moving, jobs.
Good point. I love that. Most people, I got to remember that just by living. Okay, I was laughing my butt off when I saw this because you've never seen a crazier person when this comes on. Turn off the sound when commercials come on for the latest medication procedure. You should see where I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. And now, unfortunately, I think I know all the songs that go with the certain. So that I know MSNBC, 6 o'clock, Ari Melber. The first commercial will be Vocentic, and the second commercial will be Cialis, and it's pervasive and crazy. And the last thing they almost always say, is chance of death. All these
Okay,
symptoms
sign
and
me
a
up.
chance of death. I'm like, okay, exactly. I want that.
Not everyone, but so many people, after they listen to all these things, they go, oh, wait a minute. I have that spot. It's, they start going crazy, and next thing they're on web. Don't get me started with all that stuff. But it's hard because as you get older, more people do have things. Like, what do you
Absolutely.
do to tune out all that? Because you might be able to pick your friends, but some family members you can't, you know?
Some, but not all. I mean, Sandy, you're just like, I'll keep you and I'll keep you, but you, tired of you.
Well, I did do that to some extent.
I think it's healthy if you need to. Honestly, it's hard, but it's healthy to move away from people that diminish who you are.
Well, at family gatherings, I may or may not be known for like, okay, this conversation took a dark turn. And then I go, they know, and they make fun of me. They're like, oh, okay, rose-colored glasses. I'm like, you're right. I don't know how I'll get through life. How will I ever survive? I mean, I'm 64. I barely got through with my rose-colored glasses, but I won't sit there and keep
No, I'm
because you
with you.
can see if you watch Greg, you can see here goes the energy. Oh, you think you have that? Wait, and I
Wait,
go. Here, Aunt Betty Boop is going to one up you. It's true, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, which leads me to my next question. What do you do when you're around people like that? Do you try to shift the energy? Do you walk away or you just go for it?
That's an interesting question. It came up yesterday because this woman that I'm visiting and I were talking about people. Did you keep in touch with so and so? And did you keep in touch with this person? And she asked me about a person who's a friend. Did I keep in touch with her? And I was keeping in touch for a long time, but she is the person who sees the world like there's nothing in the glass, never mind half empty. There's no water, there's nothing. It's just a glass. Like she will go into this deep, like everything is wrong and bad and hard and place. And I had to stop keeping in touch as much.
Mm,
And often when we would speak to one another, it's always by phone because they live far away, the conversation would get better as the engagement got better. So often that's a matter of, and tell me something good. This is my approach. Tell me something good that happened. How is this doing? How is your business doing? Right? How's your boyfriend, your lover? And I think engaging, like a person doesn't necessarily want to be in that dark place or doom and
yeah,
gloomy place,
absolutely. Habit.
but they like to, everybody wants to talk about themselves. So if you position a question in a way that is probably not going to elicit a negative response, I guess you can't always tell, then that's kind of how I deal with people because I don't necessarily want to shut people out of my life.
No,
I just want to have the kind of experience that leaves me feeling like I've contributed something and that I
yeah.
get something.
You drive the conversation. I love that.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's good for them too. It's really good for them. Yeah.
And have you ever driven it right off the cliff, Sandy? I am guilty of that, but we're not talking about that. Sometimes I go too far and now we're like tumbling down the rocks into the Pacific Ocean. But
Been there a lot. All right. I got to make sure I get this in.
okay,
What is my power of five?
okay. Your power of five, my power of five is the five things that I think anybody can do. Any meal plan, you can be vegan. Well, I guess you can be vegan. I don't have a good, I don't help vegan people very well because I don't understand how to keep them nutritionally healthy. But
Okay,
any other
fair.
diet plan in the world, you can do this. And they are find a way to get sleep, fall in love with fat, protein at every meal and snack. And often protein and fat come together. Nature binds thing like salmon has both, peanuts have both, right? Learn to balance your blood sugar, which sounds complicated. You don't need a science degree, you just need to listen to your body. And you
Mm.
could wear a continuous glucose monitor, they're getting more popular. And the last one is you got to move. You have to move, move, move. I don't care whether that's climbing a mountain, walking, getting up. If you sit at a desk all day, they say every hour you should get up for 10 minutes. It's easy to forget that. I set a timer if I'm
Mm.
writing because it's easy to just 3 hours go by and I'm still sitting there, doing nothing. But
Set a
um,
timer.
so if do you see how anybody could do those things? There's no prescription for like you must get this or you must eat so much
I
a
love
day.
it.
It's just keep these things in mind, build your lifestyle habits around that. And of course, the umbrella over it is mindset because it starts in the brain. The body can do a lot of things that we don't think it can do. It's the brain that stops us.
I knew I loved you for a reason. See, I don't do well with a lot of rules.
Oh no,
Makes
meaning
the whole
rebellious,
body.
the word rebellious, girlfriend. I do
It,
not do rules.
it makes me like this. But if you give me an overall picture, I'll probably be more stringent than the other person with the rules because I'm doing it
Yeah.
my way.
Right. Like, so what does protein mean to you? It could be eggs, it could be meat, not meat, it could be chicken, it could be plants,
Yeah, I like that. And I hit all five, except for I don't have the monitor, but I do listen to my body go, okay, time to eat something.
Yeah.
And I eat everything. So it's easy for me to
Me
get
too.
it in. All right, Greg, our time is up. But before we go, few
Mhm.
things. One, what did we chat about that you want to get in?
What didn't we chat about that I want to get in? Everything is food. And what I mean by that is every thought we think, because we know that our thoughts create feelings and they also create a hormonal response in the body, believe it or not. So every thought we think And every bite we take is either an investment in our health or a debt we have to repay later. And if you want to learn more about that, I have more about that on my website.
That's true. If you just stopped and said, like I say, how am I going to feel about this tomorrow if I eat it? I'm going to go for it or not. I like that. All right. Now, my second thing is, how can they find you?
They can find me at rebelliouswellnessover50.com. My podcast is on my website. It's the same name on Instagram and social TikTok and things. I'm Rebel Well 50. And I would
Okay.
love to hear from people. Send me emails, Gregory at rebelliouswellness.com. I mean, rebelliouswellnessover50.com. I want to hear what people want to hear, right? You talk to your people. What questions should I ask? What guests kind of things should I have?
Mhm.
And I would love to know that too, because I pick the guests. Sometimes I hear, can you get a person on grief or something? Yeah, that's helpful, right? But I just like to
Yeah.
engage with the audience, with the people.
Cool. All right. So you have your podcast. Are you still taking clients too?
I am taking clients. I don't have, I only take a few because I find that as we get older, the prescriptions or the recommendations, the work with people is a little bit more nuanced and takes a little bit more holding,
Yeah.
mentoring. So yeah, but I do have a couple
Time
slots.
consuming. Yeah. Thank you. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
You're
You
so
know,
easy to talk to and so much fun.
well, you had me on your show and it was the same thing. I'm like, okay, I knew we were going to get along. And so for those of you who may not know, we live about an hour away from each other. And so I'm going to be the lucky one that Greg is going to cook for me. Yay! I'm so excited now.
I'll
Yeah.
try to keep it healthy.
I don't
But
make
there
me
will be
whatever you make.
dessert. There will be dessert.
I eat everything. I eat everything. All right, I got something to say, people. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate all your support and I feel your love. Greg and I would really, really appreciate you sharing, liking, rating it, spread the word. And also, if you didn't watch it or you missed some of the beginning, don't worry. It'll be posted this evening on everything at LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and our websites. And also, Greg will have it to share. And you know how much
Yep.
I would appreciate that. And until next time, you know what I'm going to say. Toodles. Bye, Greg.
Bye.